Welcome to the Renaissance. And before you jump to the conclusion of thinking this is all about art, nothing else, peace, love, and whatever, you're way wrong.
The last time you said everything was fine, the Renaissance happened.
Yes, the Renaissance was a rebirth of knowledge from the ancient Greeks, the Romans, and of course the Catholic Church. I like to think of this era as the YOLO era. The Renaissance can be summed up in one word: humanism. Prior to the Renaissance, we were in the High Middle Ages, or what Petrarch dubbed the Dark Ages. Now, to be real, modern historians don't like the term Dark Ages. It makes it seem like nothing was really going on at this time, which is untrue. However, during this age, or the High Middle Ages, you have a literacy rate in Europe of around 5%. Artwork. Everything you did was for your next life. So say you're an artist, you wouldn't write your name on it because that would be ungodly. You would go to a church, and that church would be a Romanesque church, which means it looks dark and creepy and sad. Everything kind of summarized the idea this life sucks, but the next life's going to be better, or when you go to heaven, it's better. Not the Renaissance. YOLO. People started thinking about their lives now. Artwork got more personalized. You literally see these people, and yes, artists actually probably saw people walking down the street and they're like, I'm going to paint that guy. Let's pad the brakes on the art and get into humanism. So this weird-looking dude behind me, his name is Petrarch. He's known as the father of humanism. He gets a lot of credit for a lot of the new learning, or I should say old learning, that is redone at this time. Now, a lot of these manuscripts came across in the 13th century with trade with the Arabs and also the Byzantines. There's actually a lot more of it that he had to look around for. And this is why he's also known as the book hunter, or one of the book hunters. We think of paper today as being very cheap, and it is. But back then, it was not. So in Western Europe, oftentimes people would take old manuscripts or whatever. Let's say you have some Cicero, I don't know, Aristotle, and they would just flip it over, and then they would just print pages of the Bible on that sheet. So monasteries actually had all this old learning just packed away and on the backside of a cover of whatnot. So this guy and a few others went around looking for these manuscripts, buying them, and then regurgitating them. But also in Italian, which was totally unheard of, which was a big push away from the church. Very secular in that faction. The Catholic Church controlled a lot through the means of Latin. Everything was kind of done in Latin. So Petrarch is famous for finding Cicero's writings and a whole bunch of others, including Aristotle. And he loved to write letters to the ancient Greeks. Virgil was one of his favorites, Cicero, and he would talk about his daily life. So for history side of things, we think of Petrarch and we're like, dude, we understand a lot more of what's going on in the Renaissance because of this guy. Now, there are two other early humanist writers of the Renaissance. We got Boccaccio and Dante Alighieri, which I will cover these two awesome, hard-charging